started from the bottom, now we're here. Right? It starts like that. Yeah, I mean, of course, what's great about that line, as Pac wrote it, is that he wrote it as fiction. You know, Pac wrote beautiful, rugged, really gully fiction, like Coogee rap, you know, like Scorsese and Coppola and Brian De Palma, you know. And of course the irony was that coming out of his mouth, unlike Brian De Palma's camera or what have you, there was always this quick question of, is he for real? And could this be what led to these murders and blah, 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 blah? But Pac raises a real question, which I feel is extremely sincere, which is, if you are exposed to great levels of violence and poverty, if it's what you know, you haven't been exposed to much more, you've seen crackheads and ministers and, you know, and all that fall in between, and you see people trying to make good choices and fall into the wayside, how can you really be expected to even know how to make informed choices? You know? And then people have these expectations of you of like being peaceful. You know, he has that other line in Holler If You Hear Me, which is like, I guess because I'm black born, I'm supposed to say peace, sing songs, get capped on. Like, oh yeah, because I'm black, I'm supposed to be all about peace, and which is, you know, like, you know, there's, of course, we know there were many sides to the movement here. You know, there was the nonviolent side and the side that was like, yo, stand your ground. You know, Malcolm X was stand your ground. Dr. King was stand your ground. And then had a crazy experiment, you know, inspired by Gandhi of like, yo, let's try this. But you read his letters from Birmingham, he's like, I'm saying turn the other cheek and nonviolence, but there's other cats saying other stuff, and what they're saying is valid. So it's safer for you if you try to go with what I'm saying and with this experiment. Pac came from, you know, unlike me, my parents came from that, you know, the SCLC, from the nonviolent side of the struggle. You see images of my mom, like, being arrested by police holding her fist up singing, you know. You see images of Pac's mom strapped in a black beret, you know, swinging, you know. And that's the difference, is that essentially that type of hostility is fully justified, and it's a valid question. How can I be peaceful? How can you expect me to be peaceful when I have no examples of peace working in my life? I have no working examples to go from, and even what you consider peaceful is violent. People consider religion and religious doctrine peaceful, but it's behind, like, the majority of the wars and genocides that have happened on this planet, and it's been used to indoctrinate and, you know, impose, you know, a sort of subjugation on groups of people at large. History, you know, slavery is just one example of many, you know. When I say slavery, I mean slavery as it happened, you know, the enslavement of Africans. We can talk about the enslavement of Jews. We can, you know, like, there's so much. We talk about the Armenian genocide, all these things which had, like, the ideas of religion and religious right around it, you know. So we have really fucked and skewed examples of peace and peacefulness. So yeah, how can he be peaceful? How can you? Of course there's a great answer, you know. Of course there's always a wing and a prayer. Of course there, you know, at the end of the day, Pac was a peaceful person. You listen to the majority of, not even the majority, you don't have to listen to the majority of his work. Look at the amount of work that he did. Every stroke of the pen was was proof that he wasn't clicking a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wrote a lot. He wrote a hell of a lot. He thought a lot. He dreamt a lot. He read a lot. All those are actions of nonviolence.